Good morning. So my name is Abby Freeman. I currently serve as the marketing director at Rucker Pet right here in Forsyth County, but I'm also a student and Cottrell scholar at the Mike Cottrell College of Business at the University of North Georgia. Our next two speakers are incredible. They have the privilege of marketing one of the leading independent record labels in hip-hop. If you haven't heard the names Lecrae, Andy Mineo, KB, or Tripoli, trust me, you will. Sway, former MTV commentator, has referred to Reach Records as an early Def Jam. Reach Records is an amazing example of what a lot of faith and hard work can do. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage from Atlanta's own Reach Records, Katie, Dicke, and Marcus Hollinger.
Well, I don't know what one is supposed to do after an introduction like that. An early Def Jam, that's great. So certainly, as Abby said, my name is Marcus Hollinger.
And I'm Katie Dicke.
And we are here from Reach Records. We're based right in Atlanta on the east side of town. And before we get started, first we want to kind of pay homage to some of the speakers who've gone before us. You guys definitely had some great insights. I think that there's a great parenting model that was shared for us earlier today. So it's certainly been a treat to be here so far. So I got a couple of giveaways. Right? But we want to know, we want this to be interactive, so we want to get involved with you guys. So we do music, so we want to know, what are you guys' music taste? So who in here, who likes country in here? Okay, that's brave to admit, so we're going to give you we got a disc for you. It's kind of like whenever you hear people say, or at least from my generation, I like country. I think they're great storytellers. My generation, at least, you ask people what kind of music they like, and everybody says everything except country. So, great for you. Okay, who else? What kind of music? Who's got some great music taste in here? Who wants to tell us what they? Yeah, what Christian hip hop. Okay, that's dope. Let's get a CD for you. Oh, Katie will bring one down. Let's try one more. Who in here is a sports fan? Baseball. Who likes baseball? Okay, who do you have winning the World Series this year? Okay, we'll still give you a CD. I'm a Royals fan, but we'll still give you a CD. So we'll pass this on back to you, brother. Very well. So we'll have a few more of these to give away, but we just wanted to invite you guys into our space and kind of get a chance to talk about music some. So as Abby said, we're here from Reach Records, and what we want to talk to you a little bit today is kind of a shift that happened in marketing recently, where kind of a paradigm was introduced, and that is that content. We used to believe in marketing that content was king. But rather, I think in the last 2 to 3 years, we're starting to see that actually context is more important than the content itself. So we want to talk to you a little bit about that. So we're going to have Katie start out telling us just a little bit about herself.
Absolutely. So my name is Katie Dicke, and I serve as the Marketing Communications Director at Reach. I've been there for about coming on 3 years now. I graduated from Georgia Tech in 2013, and I handle advertising, email marketing, YouTube strategy, day-to-day press. We're a small marketing team, so we have a lot of hats that we wear for sure. And then on a personal note, I've been married for about 2.5 years now, and we have a golden doodle puppy named Asher, who's adorable.
Yeah, Asher's actually a great dog. His first birthday party was something to behold. We love. He's a great dog. So my name is Marcus Hollinger. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I graduated from the University of Kansas, and my degree is in journalism with an emphasis in strategic communication. A little bit about myself on the personal note: I love hip hop. Love it. The culture, I love it. I love it as a force to change the world and communicate stories that are not often told, and also like photography. So that's a little bit about myself.
So today we are going to be giving kind of a branded example of how we released one of our music videos, Say I Won't, featuring Andy Mineo, which was a song from Lecrae. So to give you guys some context, before the video release, we want to run you through some highlights from Anomaly, which was Lecrae's 7th studio album. So we announced the album with a viral social media campaign that had 21,000 posts and 40 million impressions. So we seeded out some images to influencers from all over and in all scopes of music and sports, and it kind of snowballed into this great campaign that resulted when the album released in hitting #1 on the Billboard Top 200, #1 on the independent charts, #1 on the digital, and #1 on the hip-hop charts as well. Also, in celebration of their release, Lecrae performed on Good Day New York, Good Morning America, and then twice on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. The first performance on The Tonight Show was with The Roots, and the second one was performing one of his tracks, Welcome to America, from Anomaly as well. That was one of our original goals, so we were really excited to see that performance happen for sure. And then also, as a result of the album, we received 3 Grammy Award nominations and one Grammy Award. One of those nominations had Lecrae up against some big names in hip-hop like Kendrick Lamar, and so we were, again, really excited to hit that goal as well. So next I'm going to show you guys the video. This served as the inspiration. We're really privileged to work in a company culture that allows us to think beyond, that's what we call it, where we innovate ideas, and oftentimes the first idea is not the idea that we end up with. So for this music video release, our first idea was to release it in Times Square. It was a January release, very cold in Times Square in January, so that was not going to happen. And then also there's a lot of audio permitting requirements that just made it infeasible. So instead of releasing it in Times Square, we released it at halftime of the Brooklyn Nets game at the Barclays Center. So we'll show you guys the video just for you guys to get an idea of what the release was like.
Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live it. Say I won't. And I bet I will. You can say I won't. I might do it just to show you. Whoa, I might do it just to show you. I might do it just to show you. Why y'all scared to be different? We be like la la la. Yeah, from the same city as a B.I.G. Wanna serve these bars, got CID. Now I'm on their radar, where beat I be. Was a slave for the cause, then we got free. Used to only wanna pull up in a black sport. Just a white man excelling in a black sport. Now I'm really doing pull-ups. Got a honeymoon for the summer, trying to get a 6-pack for it. Say I won't catch Craig slipping in the studio at like 3 a.m. Autograph that forehead with a Sharpie pen and then Instagram. Might swag out a fanny pack. I might bring the love back. Nobody wanna change the game, man. Y'all just want more trap. Okay, say I won't rap over bagpipes. Say I won't talk about that price. To know Christ and live life like a night, my last night. You about to switch up the program. I rock name brand, I rock no brand. My whole life go pro cammed. I rap like I had no fans. No, they say you know I say veto. Danny DeVito and El Pacino. Those are my people. Also I'm rocking the speedo. This that casino. You bet your revenue. Thinking you'll stop me, no, never not letting you. You must be high on that medical. Thinking I won't, better know that I bet I do, yup. Kill 'em, ooh. Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live it. Say I won't. And I bet I will. You can say I won't. I might do it just to show you. Whoa, I might do it just to show you. I might do it just to show you. We be like la la la.
Yeah, say I won't sell my shoes and take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese with the money. Say I won't bring my own bottle of Pellegrino to the movies with me. Say I won't. Look, I'm from an era of fast living and mass terror. Boys covered in cover girls like mascara. I don't need to keep a gun in a mask ever. I still make them put their hands up. Ask Derek, my road manager, damage all of you amateurs sneaking up on a tour bus with a demo to handle us. When I was younger, I just wanted a chain. Now a chain of events has afforded a change. Yeah. See, I've been a rebel since back in the day. I don't follow the people. I follow the leader through valleys and shadows of death, and I'm fearing no evil. So say I won't do it. Say I won't turn the music up and get to it. Won't come down H-Town all the way to Daytown in an old school drop-top Buick. And I'm getting maybe 8 or 9 miles to the gallon. Still feeling like a stallion. I got Andy riding shotgun with 30 gold chains on. Talking about he Italian. Say I won't go go drop a double album and rap double time on all dubstep. And got no producers, just me rocking over beatboxing by Dougie Fresh. Say I won't. Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't.
Why y'all scared to be different?
Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live it.
Say I won't.
And I bet I will. You can say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different?
I might do it just to show you.
Whoa, I might do it just to show you.
I might do it just to show you.
Why y'all scared?
We be like la 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 la.
So that was the video, and a quick story about that. So Katie and I both have the privilege of having been fans of Reach Records and Lecrae before we both started our jobs. So at just about every album release or every new song that's coming out, we're like running around like, oh man, that was so awesome, and it's so cool. Lecrae is part owner of the label, that when he comes in, we get to pull him aside and say, Lecrae, man, we think you're awesome. We believe in you. We're thankful for what you're doing, and it's an honor to be here. That being the case, we still have to deal with, and I think some of the advice that we got earlier, I want to rephrase it a little bit and say, not so much to say that our video sucked or that our song sucked, but we still have, as excited as we are about this content, we have to embrace the reality that nobody really cares. There's plenty of music to listen to. Not many people are watching music videos. That's just not a common practice anymore. And if you don't believe me, turn on MTV, the music television, and you won't see any music videos. So we really had to press ourselves to say, man, how can we make a big deal about this song and continue to really carry on the momentum of the album? And so what we decided to do was premiere the video at halftime at a Brooklyn Nets game. And again, and that was kind of came from the original idea of having the video play at Times Square. That fell through, so we're at the war room or the meeting table, just thinking, all right, what can we do? We don't have much time, and so we decided to premiere it halftime at the Brooklyn Nets game. We were also able to pull in Sony and kind of have them act as a sponsor. They had just released their action cams, and at that point we got a lot going, but still it wasn't good enough for us to have a great song, have a great video, have some great sponsors, and have a great event. And so what we decided was, man, we have to get our fans, we have to get the people involved, really to carry that message of Say I Want out there. So what we decided to do was to have a video contest. And I don't know if you caught it in the video, but really the message of that song, Say I Want, it's really speaking out against going with the grain. So in hip-hop, there's a lot of things that are being promoted, a lot of ideas that we don't necessarily agree with. And so we wanted to put that message out there and say, we're not afraid to be different at whatever it costs. And so that was the message of the song. So we wanted to figure out how can we mobilize our platform to get that message out there and put the branding of this song and the branding of this album in the hands of the people and see what they get back to us. So we launched a Say I Want video contest, and the grand prize winner was able to fly out, that grand prize winner and a guest, to fly out with us to the Brooklyn Nets game and be able to sit right there with Lecrae and Andy and watch the video premiere. So with this video, we got over 500 video responses in from social media. The link to the contest and all the information got 33,000 clicks. Metrics, that's something that we have to keep track of. That was something that showed good faith for Sony. And the contest went well. We had Lecrae start out by going to the grocery store. He's like grabbing all these cans and dumping them in the grocery cart, and then going and donating them to the Atlanta Food Bank. We were with him at McDonald's, and he's like, say I won't pay for the next 3 people behind me for their meal, and he did that. And so we put that out there, and I just want to show you guys the winning video that we got back.
Say I won't go inside of this police station and encourage these police officers despite everything going on in Ferguson. Good job, good job, good job. Here you go, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Why are you scared to be different?
With the winning video, basically we had a young man in Virginia. This was right around the time that St. Louis was the St. Louis thing was going on. Ferguson was at an uproar. And what a great place to be, because no one but hip hop really has the opportunity to speak to these things with authenticity and raise hope. So we had a young man, African American, go into a police station, and he started his video and he goes, "Say I won't go into this police station and encourage these police officers despite what's going on in Ferguson right now." So he goes in and he's with the police officers, and they're all singing "Say I Want," and it was really great. And we picked him as the winner, and that's kind of, and he and his friend got to fly out to the game, and it was awesome. So.
Yeah, so with that contest, we couldn't stop there. We had to do more. So we really wanted to make a holistic branded experience for people that came to the Barclays Center that weren't necessarily fans, for any fans that did buy tickets to come out to see the video. So in terms of advertising, we ran 4 ads on the channel that the game was being premiered on. We also were at the event with a team of people and interfaced with customers and with fans that were coming in, and handed out T-shirts and download cards, and so we could talk to the fans that knew of Lecrae and then people that had never heard of him before. And so we were able to hand those out to over 1,000 people in attendance that night. Also, in terms of lifestyle marketing, we spray painted Lecrae "Say I Won't" outside of the Barclays Center, so people were exposed to the music before they even got inside. And then in terms of press, we had MTV come out, be with Lecrae in the box, be with Andy, and really do an in-depth feature of the premiere. And then we also got coverage from Hot New Hip Hop and Vibe. And then with email marketing, we leveraged our email list to tell people about the video contest, and then also to get them to buy tickets to the game. So we sent that to our 70,000 subscribers at the time. And then in terms of branding opportunities, aside from the Sony sponsorship that we already had going, we brought in Under Armour so that they could meet Lecrae, talk to him in an organic environment, see what he was capable of doing, and then hopefully that would flourish into a sponsorship in the future, collaborations in the future. Just good time to meet the company as well.
So we just kind of wanted to show you guys a quick recap of what the event was like, some of the smiling faces and some of the things in action. So.
On my way to the Barclays Center for that "Say I Won't" premiere. I'm from a city of fast living and mass terror. Boys covered in cover girl like mascara. I don't need to keep a gun and a mask ever. I still make them put their hands up. Ask Derek. We're gonna premiere this video tonight. It's gonna be a fun night.
Say I won't be on the Megatron. I might do it just to show you.
And so one thing that we didn't mention is also the grand prize winner got some Sony action cams to film the entire experience, and everything that we did was filmed on Sony action cams. So again, just really extending the brand experience and making sure that on every level we were hitting our points, because at the back end of this campaign, we realized that we have a story to tell. So as we want to develop a relationship with Under Armour, we want to be able to tell them 7 million in complete audience. We want to be able to tell them what our email marketing campaign did. We want to tell them that we helped sell tickets to that game that night. So that's just something that we had a lot of success from, and it's a model. We don't always try to do the same thing. We try to be different each time we approach a marketing campaign, but we always try to approach it with that same type of thinking and say, okay, Lecrae wrote a great song, our video team made a great video, but now how are we going to create a context that really answers that question for a potential viewer of why should I care? So, how many of you guys have heard of Gary Vaynerchuk? Shout out to the few. Okay, so he wrote this book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. You should check this book out. I highly recommend it. Follow Gary on Twitter. He's a marketing genius, and he's really the one who coined this phrase, or really put this out into the atmosphere. And you can't go to many marketing or digital marketing conferences without really hearing this or hearing somebody bring him up. And the principle that he outlines is that for a long time, we believe that content is king, and in a lot of ways it is, but he takes that further and he says, but context is God, kind of, in comparison to what great content can do for you. So if we were to leave you with one thing, and if it's something that we try to really hold or measure our success with as a marketing team, is, how are we going to create a context? How are we going to extend our branded experience and make sure that it's something that's firing on all levels: social media, advertising, brand experience from an experiential level, and even bringing in brand partnerships, so that we can be able to pay homage to the fact that context is really what carries your content and answers that question for a very distracted and a very oversaturated public of, man, why should I care about what you're doing? So, any questions? Thank you very much for your time.